Good morning everyone. I hope you all are fine. So today for class 10, I am going to start a new chapter. The name of the chapter is Water Resources. This is chapter number 4. Now water is that thing, without this we cannot live. The importance of water I should not say to you all, because I know you all know how much water is important to us. So today we will just discuss the other important phenomena regarding the water and water resources. See, the chapter name is Water Resources. That means what is resource? Resource means without this we cannot survive generally. The thing which has the utilization power, right? That's why water is also termed here as resource. So under this chapter, the important thing that we will study, that is amount of water. Number 2, sources of water, that is surface and underground. Number 3 is watershed management. Number 4, rainwater harvesting. And number 5, irrigation. So this 5 topic today we will discuss. First, let's move on to the first topic, that is amount of water. Now, I have made one chart over here. If you see, you can easily understand the statistical units of water. Now, if the amount of water is total 100% and we are breaking it into two parts, first 97%, sea water generally consistent of 97% of water, and this 3% is fresh water. So this 97% is completely unused. Why? Because of this high salinity. Because we know the sea water has the high salinity content. That's why we cannot use it. But this 3%, that means the fresh water, this is quite usable. Now again I am breaking this 3% into two parts. First is 2.3%. Generally this much water is captured in the glaciers or in the ice caps, okay, and the remaining part, that is 0.7%, that is the fresh water. So what did I say? Out of 3, 2.3% is consisted by the glaciers, ice caps, then 0.7 is fresh water. Again I am breaking this 0.7% and you will get two types of amounts. First is 0.66%. So groundwater, the amount of groundwater, it is generally 0.66%. Okay. And the remaining 0.04% is usable water. So out of this scenario, what you can understand, if the question will come, write down the amount of usable water, then you have to write this amount, 0.04%. If the question will come, write down the amount of fresh water, then you will write 0.7%. Okay, so this is the basic scenario of the amount of water. This is not so much important for your board's exam, but still to get the better idea, I have explained this one, the amount of water. Now, first part done. Now, second, that is sources of water, like from where we can get the water. You all know that there are generally two types of sources present on the earth's surface. Number 1, it is surface water. Another one is there, that is beneath the earth's surface, that is groundwater. So what are the two types of sources? Number 1 is surface water. Number 2 is groundwater. Now by the name you can easily understand what is surface and what is ground. Surface means upper part of the earth's crust, and ground means below or the beneath of the earth's crust. Now surface water, generally the river, the streams, okay, this will come under the surface water. Here, what is the main source or primary source of the water? Rainwater, that is RW. Rainwater is the primary source of surface water. Then rainwater, it will create the rivers, streams and all, and after that these both will go and they will meet to the sea. We all know that. Now the next one is groundwater. So to describe this groundwater, here I am making one diagram. So this is the surface of the earth. Okay, and we know on the surface there are so many cracks present. Now, the surface water, that is rivers, streams, these all are flowing on the surface of the water. What will happen? Some part will be evaporated. Some part will be evaporated. So, what are the some part? Some part of surface water will be evaporated. And then rest of it will sink down. Where? To the ground. Okay, sink down to the ground. That is known as groundwater. So what did I say? River and streams, they are flowing on the surface. And we know on the surface, there are so many gaps present. See my hand as a surface, just imagine it. And these are the cracks. So when the river and streams will flow, automatically the water will sink down. So this water is known as the groundwater. This water also maintain the water level beneath the earth's surface. So this is basically our groundwater, and what is the amount of that? 0.66%. When you will study all these waters, please keep it in your mind the amount. Okay, what is the amount? Specific amount for the waters. So the sources, first is surface like rivers, streams, seas and all, and then the groundwater. That means below the earth crust, the amount of water, that is known as groundwater. So second point also done. Now here one important information I want to give you all, that if the question will come as objective, that when World's Water Day is celebrated, that is 22nd of March. Okay, 22nd of March is designated as the World Water Day. Okay. So what was our third topic? That was watershed management. Watershed management. Now what is that? Nowadays we know that due to several reasons we are losing the water. We all know that water is renewable resources. Renewable means what? You can use it, but it will not vanish or it will not finish. But if you all, not you, if we all will use it at an alarming rate and in an unscientific way, then what will happen? After few years, the amount of water will be decreased, which is not so good for our future generation. So because of that, we need to conserve the water. And there are so many other processes or other reasons which work behind the deplenish or the declining of the water. Okay, so what was that? Let's discuss once. Number one, over exploitation of groundwater through the pump, tube wells and all. Over exploitation means overusing. If we all will use the water in an unscientific way, then what will happen? After a few years, the water table that is present below the ground, the water table, it will decline. Okay, it will decline. So it is also very bad for our environment. Now next is increase in population. Day by day we know we are living in 21st century and the population explosion is more high in India. So when population is increasing day by day, then what will happen? They will also consume more water, and like this again the amount of water will be declined. Number three, now the water bodies that is surrounded, that like you can see the water tanks, then lakes, rivers, streams, these all are polluted and disturbed by the human beings. Like this also water is getting affected. So these are the basic reasons why we need to conserve the water. Another one point is over here, that irrigation process. Irrigation means to watering the plants. Due to irrigation, India loses per year 90% of the fresh water. That is not so good. So these are the basic reasons. So what are the points? Number one I discussed, that is over exploitation of groundwater. Number two, population explosion. Number 3, that is pollution. So water is getting polluted day by day. Done. And then number 4, it is irrigation. So these are the basic reasons for what we need to conserve the water. There are so many reasons behind this. So if you want, you can search it and you can make your own notes. So these are the basic points for what we protect or we need to conserve the water. So this watershed management is one type of management program or planning to conserve the water. Okay, what is that? This is a planning or this is a program that is initiated by the central government to conserve and to manage the water in a proper way. This program or this planning is for the rural people. Okay, because we know the rural people, they don't have that much knowledge that how to plant water to the trees, how to do the irrigation. So what they do, they use more water, they exploit the water more. So this plan or this program is for the rural people to guide them in a proper way. And central government has initiated this program and they have named this program Hariyali. Okay. And what is the main aim of the program? To give the proper way or to give the guidance to the rural people how to use the water and how to conserve the water for their own purposes, like their drinking purpose, fisheries and the crop plantation and all. So this is all about watershed management. Done. So number 3 point is also complete. Now we will move forward towards the next topic, that is rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting. Now this word harvesting, it is generally related to the crop or cropping. Cropping, what is the meaning of harvesting? To collect something. It is generally related to the agriculture. But here we will use it. So see here, rainwater harvesting means rainwater collection, right? So we all know that how much water is important for us. So to keep the thing in our mind, nowadays people, they are practicing this type of methods, rainwater harvesting. So what is that? It is a simple way to conserve and to store the raindrops, and after that to use it in a proper way. Okay, so that is the main reason, that is the main thing of rainwater harvesting. Like we will collect and we will store the rainwater and afterwards we will use it. This rainwater harvesting is also helping for sustainable development. Now what is sustainable development? Like suppose we have only 1 liter of water. If we will consume it, then our future generation, what they will consume? So we have to use that 1 liter of water by thinking that yes, our future generation is also there. They also need to consume the water. So we will leave some water for them. This is known as sustainable development. Development will take place, but you have to think about your future generation also. So this is basically rainwater harvesting, to collect the rainwater, because what happens when rainfall occurs, generally the water run away. But we have to stop it. Instead of allowing it to be wasted, we can consume it or we can store it. Afterwards, we can use the same water. So this is the rainwater harvesting. Now, what is the basic need for this rainwater harvesting? Instead of need, you can say the importance. Okay. Now, listen to me very carefully. There are 2 types of sources, okay, because before that only I have discussed about the sources, that is surface water and underground water. Now, on the surface of water, there are 2 types of main sources of water. Number 1 is rainwater, number 2 is rivers and streams. We generally use the water from rivers, streams and any other water bodies. We generally forget about the raindrops, okay, but rain plays a very important role to give the supply in the surface water. Okay, so now we will discuss about the need. First, this rainwater harvesting can stop the runoff. It can stop the runoff or can stop the wastage of water. You can write wastage of water. This is one important point. Then number 2. This rainwater harvesting can also help you to cope up with the shortage of water. To cope up with, here I am writing, shortage of water. Shortage of water. Okay, now number 3. Rainwater harvesting also helps to give the supply for the irrigation. So also irrigation facilities, irrigation, and then number 4, it also helps to reduce the soil erosion. So number 4, to reduce soil erosion. Now here one question might come, how it helps to reduce the soil erosion. So here I am describing it. So 4th number point is to reduce the soil erosion. Now how? You just see. So this is the surface of the earth, this is the trees, right? And the roots are up to that. Done? Now we know that water table is there. So that's why the root can easily absorb the water from the subsoil. But due to over exploitation, suppose the water table is declined. So what will happen? The tree will not get the proper amount of water. So now rainwater harvesting will help the trees, because due to rainwater harvesting we can supply the water inside the soil also. So like this the water table will be up. Okay, and like this the roots of the trees, they can easily get the water and they can flourish properly. When the tree will be flourished, through the root of the tree, they will be able to hold the soil. Like this, they protect the soil from erosion. So this is the main reason how the rainwater harvesting reduces the soil erosion. Done. So this is the main 4 topic that I have discussed. Now last one is irrigation. Okay, last one is irrigation. Now what do you mean by irrigation? Irrigation means it is the application by giving the proper amount of water to the plants. Now here one word I have used, that is proper. Why proper? Because every plant has a specific capacity to hold the water. If you will overwater that plant, then that plant can be hampered. Okay, so here you have to give the water to a specific type of plant at a particular amount. That is known as irrigation. Now how irrigation helps? Okay, why it is important? So one point is there, why it is important. So importance. Now we all know that in India the rainfall is very uneven. So we cannot only rely on the rainfall for our agricultural purposes. So when the rainfall is uneven, we know the monsoon is very erratic in nature. So there is no hard and fast rule that monsoon will come on that date. So because of that, irrigation facilities should be there to give the supply of water to the plants. That is number 1 point. So here number 1 point I am writing uneven rain. Done. Number 2. There are several types of crops present which require different types of water, like Kharif crop, Rabi crop and Zaid crop. Kharif crop, okay, this is generally dependent on the monsoon. But Rabi needs little amount of water that is supplied from the irrigation. And Zaid means it is generally the very dry season crop. Okay, to produce or to cultivate the Zaid crop, you have to give or you have to facilitate this irrigation process. So this one. So here the next point is crop requirement. Another thing is there, like the high yielding variety of crops that need also more amount of water. So HYV crops, they also need more amount of water, because of that irrigation is required. Done. Then another one point is, throughout India, if you consider the regions that is located in the northeast and the desert region, you will find that the amount of rainfall is not same. So because of that, we need to initiate, or we need to encourage this type of practices. Okay, so here uneven distribution of rainfall. So these are the basic points for what we need to follow that irrigation process. So next day we will discuss in more broader sense that what are the importance of irrigation and what are the basic means of irrigation. Till then, thank you and stay safe.